Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? I started the camera and then the camera was wobbling back and forth because of the tripod, and I was like, okay, is it gonna keep on going to the side? Is it gonna stay? So I'm hoping that it's gonna stay. How are you guys doing today? Happy Thursday. It's almost the weekend, and a storm is brewing in Indianapolis. I can hear the thunder rolling. Can you guys hear it in the distance? I can hear the thunder rolling. It's been really cloudy all day today. Dark skies are moving in, and we are supposed to have thunderstorms tonight, which is good because we need it. Our grass is dry, and my neighbor on the corner, she came over and sat and talked to me today while I was out here drinking my coffee, and we were talking about it. She's like, we need the rain. She's like, your house doesn't need the rain. My house doesn't need the rain. My house is like dry and sunburnt, and the grass needs the rain. We need some rain. But anyway, speaking of tripods, I did get online to try to find a new tripod, and all the tripods they have on, like, I looked on Amazon, which was the only place I looked, but all the tripods that they have on there, I want just like a basic. I should actually just look and see this brand. It's Mini D. Okay, that's what I should do, is look up the brand, because all the tripods that I saw online were like these very fancy tripods. I was like, I don't even know how to work that. Also, this one's like really easy to pack and take with me on vacations, but I didn't see anything similar to this. It's very simple. It's just 3 legs and the tripod thing. The ones I saw on Amazon were like all fancy, and then they had the ones that had, like, you know, that are the adjustable ones, have like the balls in the middle of it and stuff like that. I have one of those. Like, it came with my new camera. It doesn't work very well. So I don't know what I'm gonna do as far as a tripod. I guess I could just go to, like, you know, Best Buy or something and get a tripod, but so that's where we're at on the tripod stance, because I know people will be like, well, you said you're going to order another tripod. I looked, and I didn't see anything that I wanted. So I didn't see that there was the brand name on the side. So I will put that in, and I will see if I can find this exact tripod. I just think I've used it so much. I trimmed my beard yesterday and did all this before, well, the night before I got my, did I do it yesterday too? I feel like I did. After I got my hair cut. Anyway, and so my nose is itching me. But, what was I going to say? Something about the tripod. It doesn't matter. Oh, I feel like the screw inside the tripod thing is broken. You guys had me so confused the other day on the video. I just have to tell you. So I posted this video the other day, and I was talking about the pool drama, and then my neighbor said something about the pool drama, and I go, oh, that reminds me of something else I want to tell you about the pool drama. And then my battery was dying. So I started getting all these comments in the vlog, right? And the comments were like, you left us hanging about the pool drama. And I was like, what are they talking about? Like, and at first I was like, because I, you know, render my videos together, and so, like, I look at the beginning, I look at the end, and I make sure that it's all there, right? And so I was like, did I, like, not upload part of the vlog with it, and that's why people are confused? I was like, did I just stop telling the story, like, in the middle of it? Like, you know, with me, that's possible. And so I was, like, reading these comments. There was a lot of comments that people were like, you just left us hanging about the pool drama. What happened with the pool drama? And all this kind of stuff. And so I went in and I looked at the very end of the video, and it was like my battery was dying, and I was talking to my neighbor, and I said something about the pool drama, and then I was talking to my neighbor, and then I looked back and the camera was dying. I was like, oh, I gotta go. And so, like, I stopped. The pool drama that I was talking about that day, I actually have more HOA drama today, because my neighbor in the corner, this is her last month. Well, she's got this month and next month, she said, because they're doing the elections in October. She is going to be off the board. She's done 3 years. I thought it was 2 years. She's done 3 years on the board, and she's like, I'm done. And we were talking about, like, you know, the landscaping manager telling me, the vice president, I guess, telling me that I should join the board. And she's like, they can't get anybody to join the board right now. I was like, oh, well, okay. And so we talked about it, and she's like, are you thinking about joining the board? And I go, I mean, I wouldn't rule it out. And she goes, Peter, I'm going to be honest with you, because it's going to drive you crazy. But I'll get to that in just a second. So anyway, the pool drama that I was talking about that she reminded me of was that when I was talking to her, because okay, so the landscaping, there's a landscaping committee in the neighborhood, okay, that is run by the landscaping manager that is also the vice president of the HOA community. I was not aware that she was the vice president. I don't know the roles that people have, except for the treasurer that moved out of the neighborhood and my neighbor in the corner. And the president, obviously, I know who that is. So anyway, when I was talking to my neighbor across the street, so she had June at the pool, and that was where they had to go up and they had to water the plants and stuff like that. It was interesting what she said, because she was like, they're not, like, the landscaping in the pool is not good this year. It's like they usually do, it's really beautiful up there, and there's, like, a lot of pots and stuff like that of plants. And I noticed, like, she noticed it more because she's really, my neighbor next door, because she's really into plants. And she's like, they only have, like, 1 pot in each area, which I kind of noticed at first, but I thought they would add more. And so my neighbor across the street, she said they wouldn't put any money into the landscaping in the pool this year because they said nobody cares. And I was like, it's so funny what they decide for the community that we care and we don't care about. But she was like, yeah, like they haven't taken very good care of the pool this year and whatever and all this kind of stuff. We offered to be the pool committee. We offered to volunteer. They didn't want our services. So that's all I know. Time and temperature check. Right before I came out here, I looked at the microwave and at the computer and said 526. So it's probably 527 was when I started this. 526, 527. If you say one of those, you're good. And the temperature is actually warmer than I thought it was going to be. It's 82 degrees today. So I could have gone to the pool and gotten the pool, but it's been windy today. It's like I don't know, it's weird. Like, the kids went back to school and all of a sudden it feels like fall in the neighborhood again. So yesterday was fantastic. And a couple people were like, you were really upset about not being able to have your pool day or your pool this summer with your neighbors, and then you got a whole pool day. I was so grateful for it. I really was. In fact, last night when I was like doing my prayers and meditations, and I always talk about like my highlights of the day and the things I'm grateful for throughout the day, and that was definitely one of them, was that I got to hang out with my friends at the pool yesterday. You know, I mean, it wasn't like all day, but it was a couple hours, and I got my fill of it. And, you know, it wasn't what I wanted going into this summer, but it was enough. Like, yesterday was fantastic, and you know, if we have 1 or 2 more days this summer that I can go to the pool and hang out, like, that's good. I did not go to the pool last night. She didn't get home from her hair appointment until late. I was taking Boo Radley out when she got home, actually, and she was like, do you want to go? Well, her mailbox is completely down. Somebody, like, backed into her. So the person that lives next to my neighbor, the gardener, he passed away. And so they've been coming in and, like, doing all this kind of stuff to the condo. People are like, Caroline could move in next. She moves. Caroline wants to be against the woods. She doesn't want to be next to me. First of all, her condo is smaller than ours. Well, it's about the same size, but she doesn't have it upstairs. And so it would be like Caroline wants something a little bit bigger than that. Her condo by any means is not small. So she doesn't have it upstairs, so it's like more spread out. So when you walk into it, it feels bigger, but it's about the same size as ours. But I think it has 2 bedrooms. The basement is actually smaller. But then, like, her kitchen is bigger. Her living room is about the same size as ours, but it's, like, not high ceilings. It's all low ceilings because it's all, like, 1 floor. She's got a huge garage, though. But Caroline wants to be against the woods. She wants to be on that side. She doesn't want to be on the lakes, and she doesn't want to be back over here. She said she was like, I would back up there. She's like, but in the summer, you can, or in the fall and winter, you can see straight through the other side. She wants to be, like, up against the woods. So she can sit on her patio and, you know, have her glass of wine and talk on the phone and watch her shows and stuff like that. That's what Caroline wants, some privacy. So, anyway, what's so funny about the condos in here, though, is, like, as soon as somebody knows that, like, they're selling a condo, like, it goes, well, they list in the newsletter, like, if somebody, they don't say it, like, when it's for sale, they list it, like, they say, like, we're selling this condo, and we're gonna list it, like, next month, and before they even list it, like, I don't think I've ever seen, maybe but one time, a sign in this neighborhood for, like, an open house or a condo for sale or something like that. They sell that quick. In fact, this condo on the other side, Caroline was looking at that condo, and I think the asking price was, because they had redone the whole thing. Caroline was like, I like how they redid it. I would still need to go in there and redo it. But they were asking price for, like, it was like, I was kind of surprised. It's a huge condo. It has a full redone basement and everything like that. Big, I mean, the kitchen's like a full-size kitchen. And really nice. Has like a patio, then has like a step-down area and whatever. But I think if they were asking for like $450 or something, and they got asking price for it. Like, they listed it and it was like sold. What happens is, because it's an older neighborhood in here, like I was talking about the sisters yesterday, when something they know is going up, like they put it in the newsletter, or people will talk in the neighborhood, like usually if somebody's going to sell their house, they'll call the HOA president. And so if there's other people that they know that want to move in here, they'll just like tell them, and then it's like, it sells right away. So his condo is actually, I guess it's sold already or something, I don't know, but they went in it and they said, it has the most beautiful screened-in porch. I have no idea who the new neighbors are. But it has the most beautiful screened-in porch. But they said that, like, the carpet needed to be, like, pulled up and all this kind of stuff. So, I guess before the new owners move in, I think it's sold, is what somebody told me. They're, like, going to go do all these redos to it. Like, rip up the carpet, put in wood floors and stuff like that. So, anyway, so they've been pulling out, like, his stuff is, like, all boxed up and in there and in the basements and stuff like that. And so, there's been like a lot of people that have been like in and out of the house. Well, there was like, when I came back from the pool yesterday, because we're trying to figure out the timing of it, when I came back from the pool yesterday, her mailbox was up. Her mailbox has been loose. Like, I was telling her last night, I was like, when I walk Boo, like, I'll, like, lean on it like this, and it's loose, but it's not like it's gonna come out of the ground. It's on the ground. It's, like, laying on the ground. And so, whenever I was vlogging yesterday, she told me that her mailbox was down. So, between when I came home, which was, like, 3:40, and 5 something, somebody backed into the, it had to have been, because she looked at it, there's like screws out of it that are like bent out. She's like, it didn't just happen on its own. And like the post broke. It's like this wooden post, it like broke in the ground. So anyway, so she was asking me like what to do, and I was like, you need to call like the HOA maintenance, and they'll come out and they'll put it in the ground and stuff like that. She's like, am I gonna have to pay for it? I go, no, because it's obvious that somebody backed into it. She's like, I'm so upset that nobody like even left a note, you know? She's like, if anybody left a note, at least like maybe they wouldn't make me pay for it. And I was like, they're not gonna make you pay for it, don't worry about it. I said, if they make you pay for it, I'll call and say that it was somebody hit it, because she was gone, you know, when it happened. She came back from a hair appointment and it was down. She was really upset about it. She was more upset about the fact that nobody left a note, which I do think is rude, you know, that you're not going to leave a note when you back into this. I mean, it's on the ground. I should go show it to you guys, but I mean, it's literally on the ground. Our mailboxes are hideous anyway. They're like these plastic mailboxes. I don't love them. Caroline always is like, whenever she comes in here, she's like, I love this neighborhood. She's like, but the mailboxes are horrible. They are horrible. So anyway, so she was like, do you want to go swimming? And I said, I am really, really tired. I'm going on a couple hours of sleep. I said, I need to like go eat something, and then I need to like maybe lay down for a little bit, because I was going to go swimming, then lay down, and well, I took my walk. Did she come out? Oh, I took my walk, and then she came home after like, I took Boo Radley out after I got back from my walk, and she was like, do you want to go for a swim and whatever? And I was like, well, I think I'm going to lay down I'm going to take a shower, lay down for a little bit, and then if you want to go for a swim later. And she was like, okay. And so like I said, I'll text you either way. And I was just like, I don't think I can go for a swim. And so I ended up laying down. I watched 8, and then while I was eating, I watched Below Deck Mediterranean, which is so good this season. And then I went upstairs and took a shower and lay down, and not for very long. I couldn't sleep at all. Boo Radley was like so like anxious last night. He was like in his bed, out of his bed, in his bed. At one point, like, I thought it was going to storm last night, because he was acting like it was going to storm. He was like, Boo Radley, or Alex was holding him, because Alex was watching Love Island with his AirPods on nonstop. He's like trying to make it through the whole season before the reunion comes out. I'm like, I can't believe you're watching the show twice. He was like, well, I already watched it once. Why is it weird that I watched it twice? I go, I'm not somebody, like, other than going back and watching old seasons of Survivor, I don't know that I have a hard time watching a show that I like more than once, unless it's like something I grew up with as a kid, let alone like a reality show. There's my pool crew lady out there pulling in stuff. She's kind of too far away to see me, but sometimes she does. If she looks right over here. But anyway, not my neighbor in the corner, the neighbor next to her. So I decided I wasn't going to go for a swim last night. I was too tired. I was like, you need to rest. And so I was trying to lay down, and then Boo Radley was being really, really anxious, and then he kept on jumping down. And so Alex had just like taken him out when I started laying down, and he's like, I don't know what he wants. I just took him outside, and I took him out for a long time. So I was like, I can't sleep. I can't nap. So I got up, threw on my clothes. Alex goes, where are you going? I go, I can't nap. Like, he's up and down and up and down and up and down. And so this guy used to walk, and now he runs. And I was talking about that in my weight loss journey update video today. Like, that's what I wanted to do, but I don't want to stop. Like, I don't like to run and listen to like audiobook or podcast. So I want to keep my walks. I know people will be like, well, you could run and listen to music, and then you could walk and listen to your audiobook. I could do all of it. I could do everything, I guess. But anyway, what was I gonna say? Oh, so I took him outside. Oh my God. This dog was running around like he was crazy dog. I mean, it was so funny. It was so cute. I was like, I got laughing so hard. I was so tired. I was like, have you ever been so tired that you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired? And so he was like running around and running around and running around. And so I brought him inside, and I think he was just wanting a treat or something, because I gave him a treat, and he ate the treat like real quick. He was like jumping up, like wanting this treat. And then like as soon as the treat was done, he like, I heard him like boom, 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 like bolt. He goes like up one flight of stairs, up another flight of stairs. And then I heard him jump on the bed, and then like he was out. And then like a half an hour later, Alex like shouted down to me. He's like, I'm going to bed. And I was like, okay. So I talked on the phone last night when I got up and stuff. Well, what did I start watching? Oh, I watched Big Brother on Tuesday because there was like a special edition with like the old winners and stuff like that. It was stupid. Nikki was like, they're supposed to like hint out at like what the new thing is going to be that they're coming out with tonight or Sunday or something like that. And they said what it was called. I don't even remember what it was called. The AI Instigator or something like that. I don't know, but like they said what it was called. They didn't say anything about it other than that. I totally skimmed the show. I was like, this is so boring. I don't care to have a recap of it. I was texting somebody last night and they said that the reason why they did it was because so many people have been watching the Olympics, so they're trying to get people interested in the show again. So, I was watching Big Brother from last night, and Nikki and I were texting, and so finally I just was like, I'm going to call her on the phone. This is just going to be easier, because if you watch Big Brother, what's interesting about it is if they're speculating that like all these people have been on like shows before, okay? Quinn doesn't have any social media, which is really interesting. Angela, they think, is a producer plant because she's been on 2 shows, or 2 game shows, and Dr. Phil. Brooklyn was on Dr. Phil. Rabinia, they came out and said she was on a reality show before. And then I looked at Tucker's, because Tucker's story is that his dad came out. And so he was talking about it, and I was like he was talking about something to do with like pride or something, and I was like, I want to see like if he did some, like talked about it on here with like his dad or whatever on his Instagram. And I never looked at his Instagram before. He has quite a following on Instagram, and I went and looked. It's a modeling Instagram. I mean, he does like all this underwear modeling, and he's done tons of modeling. He has an agency. I mean, he is repped by an agency. So it's like, okay, now Tucker's a model. All these people have been on reality shows. Kenny supposedly is a twin. And I was like, there's something up about it, but like we're 39, 40 days into it. So if they were going to say like all these people are like actors, they would have already, like except for 3, they would have already come out and said that. My gut is telling me, Nikki and I were trying to figure it out last night. I said, I kind of almost feel like it's one of 2 things. Like they're going to, because the whole season's around AI, that they're going to release this thing that like AI picked the players out of like a group of actors. Like that's how it all went down. Like they picked at randomly, like AI picked it randomly who the players were going to be for the show. And that's why they're all like people that have like, you know, their whatever SAG cards or part of this or whatever. Or they did it because the views have been so low. Like, I think last season Big Brother views were not great, but I could be wrong about that. But anyway, and so they picked people that they knew specifically they were going to look into, and they were going to be like, oh, this Angela is a producer plant. And then it would get people looking into Angela's social media, build her social media, get people talking about it. So when people aren't watching the show and they're not watching the live feeds, they're looking into everything, right? Like they're looking to see, well, who else has a history? So it's getting people more invested in the show. That's the only thing I can think of why they would do this, because it's so many people. Tucker also came out and said that he is friends with Cody. He goes, my friend Cody was on One Big Brother and was on Traitors. Like everybody knows who Cody is. And he said that on the show. And then supposedly somebody else has a famous like aunt or sister. I think it's T-Core. And so it's interesting, like all these connections these people have. I don't know, they're either going to get done with the season and they're going to be like, oh no, we always pull from a pool of actors. But they're going to have to address it at some point, because it's like every person they found out has some kind of connection. I was texting somebody last night. They're like, Peter, just have fun with it. It's hard to have fun with it when you feel like it's scripted. It feels very scripted to me this season. Like Cedric, when he goes in the diary rooms, he's like, what do you mean? It's like, it feels like it's so scripted, like they're all actors. And when I think back about like Angela going off on Matt, which I did not like, it came out later that she works for a real estate agency, and that they came out and said that she wasn't working for them currently because she was casted on a show as a villain. Well, that was right around the time that she comes down the stairs. They're all standing in the kitchen, and they all start clapping, right? They're never all standing in the kitchen at the same time, unless it's like right after an elimination. I mean, some of them are in the bathroom. Some of them are in the outside by the pool. They're never like all standing around. It was like so contrived, like they were standing around, and then she comes down, and then she starts going off on Matt, and it's this whole thing, and she's like, and I'm really sorry to everybody in the house, and I want to get along with you, except for you, Matt. I don't want to get along with, I mean, it felt so scripted. Like, I thought it at the time, but in retrospect, even more so. And like, their diary room, like, when Angela's in the diary confessions, like, what, if you watch her, it seems so scripted, what she's saying. It sounds like, unless AI is writing everything for the season, and that's the whole, like, expect the unexpected. But at 40 days in, I feel like they would have hinted at that by now. I don't know. It's like, it's But to be honest with you, it's not working for it because it's really unenjoyable to watch. If I wasn't like so dedicated to watching Big Brother, I probably would have like this. If I like wasn't gonna like talk about it on a TV channel, or I wasn't keeping up with it because my friends are watching it, this is a show I would not continue to watch. I'm bored of it. I'm done with it. You know. It's like I'm at the part in The Bachelorette when it's like every week it's one person. It's like, just get rid of 3 of them. You already know which one. I mean, she's got it narrowed down anyway, who she's going to pick, you know? So I've got The Bachelorette to watch. Actually, I didn't bring my list out here. I made a list of all the things I have to watch tonight. I got to watch Quick Change, because that's my movie for Peter's Movie Club. It's an hour and 28 minutes. I just looked it up. And then I have The Bachelorette. That's an hour and a half. And then I have Welcome to Plathville, which is the most boring 45 minutes of my life. And then I have Real Housewives of Dubai. Orange County's on tonight, but we'll probably watch that this weekend. And then Big Brother comes on at like 1 in the morning. I might save that for Alex, or I might watch it. We may have a very busy weekend, so I might not be around here a lot. So my brother and sister-in-law are in town from San Diego, and so apparently there's all this stuff planned, like dinners, and Liliana had said something about Carlito's having a game on Saturday afternoon. I don't know if it's a baseball game or if is it baseball season? I feel like it's football season. I think he has a football game on Saturday afternoon, so we're all going, like the whole family's going to watch that. So that's Saturday afternoon, and then I'm sure after that we'll do a dinner. And so we won't, and then the dinner will be followed by 6 hours of sitting around. So, which I love, but I probably won't be able to walk on Saturday, and I won't be, like, that won't be a big TV show watching night until we get home after that. So that'll be Saturday. And then Sunday, I think we might be going to brunch all as a family somewhere. I don't know. Or going over to, like, his mom's house for, like, brunch or something like that. So that might be Sunday. And then that's our weekend. Because I asked him, I was like, do you have any plans? He's like, I don't have any. He has to go into the office tomorrow for some things. I said, well, since Saturday we're doing this game and stuff, and then it'll be, I know we're not going to come home right after that. I was like, I'm going to have to film a lot of videos tomorrow. Because today, my plan was to film, like, six or 7 videos today. I said this in my video yesterday that I'm just kind of taking it slow in August. It's not even that, like, I'm intentionally doing it. It's just, like, if I wake up and I don't feel like filming a bunch, I'm just not going to. Last night I took my medicine because I knew I could sleep for, like, 8 or 9 hours. I was like, I want to try the medicine again. I don't remember Alex, like, I sleep. Oh, this is this guy with this dog that looks like a big Boo Radley. He is so cute. This dog is so cute. Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
This dog is so cute. Do you guys remember in 101 Dalmatians, the Midnight Howl, and it's those 2 dogs, and they're like, oh, he looks like that one dog. He looks like a big Boo Radley, like our dog Boo Radley, but bigger, like twice the size. He's real cute. So last night, I went to bed, I stayed up till like 5:30, and I knew that, like, I could sleep till like 12:30 or 1 if I wanted to today, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get, like, good night's sleep and whatever. I took my medicine last night, and I had a really hard time falling asleep. So I feel like the medicine, and I didn't drink a lot of caffeine last night, so, and I didn't take a nap, so there's no reason why I wouldn't have, like, and I was going on like 4 hours of sleep, so there's no reason. I almost kind of felt a little wired when I went to bed, if you want to know the truth. So I went to bed, and I was like tossing and turning to fall asleep, tossing and turning. In fact, Alex got up for work, and I was still up, and I was like, are you up already? And he was like, yeah. He's like, he like gets up and like rolls through his phone and stuff. And so we were talking a little bit this morning. Boo Radley was like out. Like when he went up there, he was like, I mean, he was asleep in his purple bed last night when he went upstairs finally after being taken out and running around and having treats and stuff like that. So, but I must have fallen asleep between, like, I remember Alex like walking around the room. I'm closing my eyes, I remember Alex walking around the room and like getting ready and stuff like that. And then I remember him leaving. I don't remember him taking Boo Radley. I must have fallen asleep for a second because he takes Boo Radley down, gives him his medicine, takes him out. I remember him bringing him back up. And then when he left, I said to Boo Radley, I said, say goodbye to Dad. He'll be back later. And then that's the last thing I remember. When I got up today, I didn't feel... I actually got up earlier than I thought I would. So I got about 6.5 hours of sleep. I got up... I didn't feel like how I usually feel with the medicine, like when I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so drowsy. But I definitely could have slept for like 3 or 4 more hours. I just kind of felt really, to be honest with you, really unmotivated today. And, oh, this is the other thing that's weird. So when I went in to go put my contacts in today, my contacts, and they're newer contacts, so it had nothing to do with that. My eye's not infected, it's back to normal. My contacts did not want to go in my eye. And it was something that I kind of like, I was like, oh, this happened the other day when I took the medicine. Because it's been a couple days since I took the medicine. I don't know why those would be related. I don't know if it's like I'm sleeping like with my eyes tighter or something. I don't know, but they didn't like want to go in my eyes right away. I mean, they did, but well, this one I put in a brand new contact because it was like I put it in and I was like, I looked at it, I was like, is it ripped? It wasn't ripped. So finally I just put in a new contact, but they were newer contacts anyway. But yeah, my eyes just like they didn't want to go in. I feel like I'm really like struggling with allergies, like worse than I think I am this year. I've been taking my allergy medicine every day. But like at night when I'm watching shows and stuff, I sneeze like crazy. Boo Radley is sneezing like crazy, like every single night. Like when I take him outside, he sneezes pretty much the whole time that he's outside. And and Alex, like it was bad and then it like got a little bit better. So anyway, last night I watched Big Brother from Tuesday, Big Brother from Wednesday, which I already knew everything that happened. It was so boring. Big Brother Wednesday, the video thing was so boring because I already knew everything. And then I watched Welcome to Plathville earlier. Not Welcome to Plathville. I watched Below Deck Mediterranean earlier. Captain Sandy's dog passed away. It was so sad. Her and her wife, I think, is she married now? She gets engaged this season. She like brings her on and proposes to her, but I don't know if she's married to her yet, Leah. But Leah calls her and says that the dog passed away. So it was Leah's dog, but like she brought into the relationship. And she's like showing these pictures of the dog smiling. It was so sweet. I love Captain Sandy. I think she at times is kind of clueless about what's going on in the boat. Not with the boat, but like the crew. But I like Captain Sandy a lot. And she's sober. I mean, she talks about being sober and how she got sober and all this kind of stuff. It's interesting. I love that she talks about it just like it's part of her life. She doesn't like, it's not like, you know, this like mission statement thing. She just like talks about it. Like whenever it comes up, she like talks about it and shares her story. I love that. So I'd watched that earlier. So I watched Dark last night. And I finished was I already on season 1? Oh, what else did I watch late last night? I watched something else. Well, I watched the first 3 episodes and part of the 4th episode. Had I started season 3? I think I was right at the beginning of season 3. I think that's where I was when I started it last night. So I watched the first 3 episodes and part of episode 4. So many people are watching Dark with me right now. And it's so interesting because I'll get DMs and they'll be like, are you here? Are you there? Like, this is where I'm at in it. And so people have told me that they've watched Dark. Dark is a show, like, I don't really know how to explain it other than this. Unless you've watched it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I am so confused by what's going on. Like, it's not now just different times that they're in. It's different worlds that there's like parallel worlds. And each parallel world has multiple times. I mean, it's so confusing. It's so good. I can't stop watching it. Because I'm like, there has to be some conclusion to all of this where they bring it all together. But I love it. I don't even really know to explain. I mean, I kind of like, it takes place in like Germany and it's very like rainy there and windy. It's like it'd be a good fall show to watch. I always have the candles lit and stuff like that. But I have no clue what's going on, but I love it. I don't know how to explain it other than that. But I'm very, very confused about it. But this is the other thing. It's a lot about like life and death and regrets and looking back on your life and what would you change and do things happen for a reason, do they not? Like, when you look at this happening, this caused that, and or you were in a certain place at a certain time because of this person, or why did you make this choice, or why did you pick this partner at this time, or why are you living in this city and that, you know, it's interesting because I'm in my head a lot. And like, it's not just a dark show to watch. It's like, I feel like as I'm watching it, like, it kind of like puts me in a weird space. I wouldn't say it makes me sad. I thought that's kind of what it was. It doesn't really make me sad. It just makes me like look at my life a lot. By the way, I got so many, like, somebody commented back on the person that asked, but that noise in the background that say goes in and out, they're like, is that birds? What is that? It's cicada. I can remember when I was a kid growing up, and they don't typically come out until like around the end of July, beginning of August. And I can remember my dad saying to me, when you hear the cicada, school's about to start. I remember him saying that to me. I don't know how long they last, till first couple weeks of August or something, but they're huge. They're like this big. And last night, when she and I were looking at our mailbox, we were standing out there because, like, I was standing by the tree holding, and as soon as I grabbed on the tree, like 3 of them, like, flew out. They're huge. They're really big. Oh, by the way, my neighbor, when we were walking back from the pool the other night, the night swim, she was like, that's a bat up there. And I looked, I was like, what? She's like, it's a bat. She's like, we have bats. Did you not know that? I was like, no. She's like, yeah, they fly over every night. You can see them. She's like, it's really cool. So anyway, But when I was looking at it, I thought there was like one hanging onto a leaf. And she goes, that's not a cicada, that's a shell. And she goes, have you not seen the shells? And I was like, I don't even know what you're talking about. She goes, the shells they're big, you guys, where the cicadas have this shell and then they latch onto a leaf or something. I don't know how it works. She was just explaining it to me last night. I thought, the camera stopped. I thought there was an actual bug in there, but there wasn't. It was like the bug had left its shell. So I guess that's something that it like, I'm not going to even try to explain it. It's like coffee and roast. I don't know anything about it. All I know is she pulled this off the leaf and she was like looking at, there was no bug, but it literally looked like it was a bug because of like the shell on the outside, but apparently they like go out of that cicada. So that's the noise that you hear. And it's like late summer, early fall is when they usually come. And they're big. They're huge. I mean, they're like this big, you guys. It's crazy. You can see them like at night flying around and stuff like that. It's kind of freaky. But anyway, so I watched that last night. Talked on the phone for like 2 hours, different people. And then, I talked to Tanya last night. She called me from the lake. She's having a great time. And, I'm like, are you ready? Because she's usually like halfway through vacation. She's like, I'm ready to come home. I'm like, are you ready to come home? She's like, it's been beautiful every day down here at the lake. They go to the lake in Tennessee. So she's like, and she's there with her friend whose husband passed away a couple years ago. Now it's been probably like 10 years ago. And they grew up right next door to each other. And so, like, Nick is friends with her and her daughters and stuff like that. And so, Tanya and Nick are down there with her and her daughters. And she was like, it's been just really relaxing. And we have, like, we'll go out on the boat all day long. But then at night, we have, like, a group dinner. But then we just kind of do our thing. And so, she's like, it's been nice. She was like, so we talked for a while on the phone last night. She was telling me everything about it. And we were catching up. But I said, are you ready to come home? She goes, I could use a couple more days. I'm not really ready yet because when I come home then it's like summer's almost over. And she's like, Peter, we haven't even gone to the pool once this summer together. I was like, I know, Tanya. She goes, I think I've been to the pool. This is why I didn't get a membership to that pool this year. She's like, I think I've only been to the pool like twice this entire summer. I was like, really? She's like, once when my grandkids were in town, and she was like, and the other time I went up there with Eric like one day during a lunch break. She goes, maybe one other time. She was like, but I haven't even been up there but 2 or 3 times this entire summer. So I feel like I wasted that membership. I go, well, that's why I didn't get one, because I have a pool in the neighborhood, and I didn't want to Uber all the way over there if you couldn't go. And she's like, we've been so busy this summer, and she's like, it's kind of sad. She's like, I don't want summer to be over. She was like, but at the same time, she's like, I could kind of use for things to slow down a little bit. So anyway, so she's having a good time, but I think she gets back tomorrow or Saturday. I can't remember what she said. And Tanya always comes, she and Caroline both, like, always come back on, like, kind of, like, weird days. Like, well, what I would consider a weird day. Like, you know, Alex and I typically always come back on, like, a Sunday to start the next week, right? Like, she doesn't do that. So, like, Tanya comes back on, like, a Friday or a Saturday. Because she's like, well, I like to get home and have the rest of the weekend. Caroline's, like, the same way. But, whatever. I actually don't know when Caroline gets back from her girls' trip. Or her trip to Michigan. She might get back I think she gets back tomorrow or Saturday, too. Well, her trip wasn't as long as Tanya, so maybe she came back today. She usually texts me as soon as she gets back in town. She's like, I'm back in town. But her thing is always very scheduled. Like when she goes on vacation, it's like, I mean, Caroline does itineraries in the whole 9 yards. She's like, you know, breakfast at 8, if you want to come. 10 o'clock to 2, or kayaking, if you want to come. Shopping from like, I mean, they go all day. I'm like, that is not, I know some people enjoy trips like that. I would not enjoy that trip. So anyway, yeah, last night was a good night. And then I got up today, and I was so tired. Well, I wasn't like tired like I usually am, but like my eyes were tired, and I just wasn't motivated. I was like, honestly, I was like, I think I'm just gonna film. I wasn't like tired, like when I first got up, I was like, I could sleep 2 more hours. I wasn't tired like how I feel usually from the medicine, which was weird. I was tired, and like, I just felt like calm and content. I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, I felt very peaceful, but I also didn't feel like I wanted to do anything, and not just film videos. I didn't want to do like laundry, clean the house. I didn't want to do anything today. I literally just wanted to sit in a chair, you know. But it's been like, I mean, I've had slower days this last 2 weeks where I haven't filmed as much and stuff like that. But I still do a lot of stuff around the house. Like, I don't allow myself just for like, unless it's late at night, I don't allow myself just to like take an entire day and just like watch shows and stuff like that. I always feel like it's such a waste of a day. I don't know. I need to get into the mindset of just like, this thing keeps on coming up on my Instagram, and it's like, it's good for your mental health and your physical health to take one day off and not do anything. And I have such a hard time getting behind that. I don't know why. Like, I know that's probably true. But like, I have such a hard time doing that. It's like Alex is home right now, and he comes home and he's like, he goes upstairs, puts his pajamas on. He's like, "Where's my son?" He walks upstairs, you know, Boo Radley, ooh, the thunder. And he hangs out with Boo Radley and he rolls through TikToks and stuff like that. And it's like, and I'll be like, what are you gonna do tonight? What do you want to do tonight? He's like, "You're looking at it. I just want to relax." He can lay in bed for like 4 hours and roll through TikToks. I'm like as soon as I get done with the vlogging, like I'll go render it, and then I'll be like, okay, this is gonna be 20 minutes, and then I'll start like uploading it. While it's uploading it, like, am I gonna go for a swim? When am I gonna go for my walk? I'm gonna go for my walk for like an hour and 15 minutes. When I get back from my walk, I'm gonna take a shower. When I take a shower, then like everything is like in my head, like scheduled. And I know it's probably part of my OCD, but I just wish I could just be like, I don't really care what I do. Oh, she's bringing her grandbaby to her. Her daughter's there. Her grandbaby's got like a big blanket all around her, like she's staying at Grandma and Grandpa's for the night. Oh my gosh, that's her grandbaby. That's like, she told me her name at the pool. She's like 4. Oh, there's another walker with a dog. Hey, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Feels like fall outside, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite nice.
It's about to start raining, I think.
Well, hope so.
Yep. Everybody says that. We could use it in the neighborhood. So yeah, and so I was like, I think I'm just going to do my weight loss journey video today in my vlog, and I'm just going to, like, you know, play it low key. Did my prayers and meditations. Oh, my neighbor came over here. She talked to me. And then I was like looking through my phone. I hadn't really got on social media yet, and I got all these DMs about. So I made this video for my drama channel today because people were like asking me what I thought about it. I really didn't think anybody would be interested in it, honestly. So I was like, I wasn't planning on making the video, but then I got all these DMs. Oh, she's got her little suitcase backpack with her and her blanket going to Grammy and Grandpa's for the night. It was so funny because my neighbor says she's got her step grandchild with her today. She and her husband, and so she's like, from the pool crew lady, she was like, we borrowed fishing poles and stuff from them, and like her step grandson's like, this is the only time I've ever seen him at the house. She said he was like 5 or 6. He was with his grandpa when she came over here and talked to me, and they were taking a nap or something inside. And so she was like, yeah, we had a lot of fun. We were fishing. I go, did you catch anything? She goes, no, we didn't catch anything. I go, there's so many fish in that. She's like, it's ridiculous, Peter. So anyway, so tonight, I don't really know what I'm going to do. I have so many shows to watch. This is what I have to watch tonight. I already go through this. I have Quick Change, which is an hour and a half. Bachelorette, which is an hour and a half to watch. It's ridiculous that show is so long. Somebody texted me something about Grant has decided that he's the new Bachelor. Is he from Charity Season? Because I don't know who Grant is. I know he's not from this season, is he? It's weird to me if they've already announced it. Somebody texted me, or not texted me, somebody messaged me and said Grant, and I don't know who that is. Unless he's on Bachelor in Paradise. Do I know? Am I supposed to know who Grant is? Like, I don't remember that. And then people were talking about the Golden Bachelorette. I can't remember what her name is. She's the one that, like, quit early because she had to go home to take care of her daughter, which I liked. I really liked her a lot. I mean, you can talk about Miss Bullet. Good thing she didn't stay on the show. She might have married Gary Jerry, and then it would have been downhill from there. But I like her a lot. And I love the Golden Bachelor and the Golden Bachelorette. It's a completely different vibe. If you watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, it's a completely different vibe. I mean, like, The Bachelor and The Bachelorette are basically just like a dating show, but like, she's dating like, or he's dating like 16 people at the same time. They kiss all these people. It's like, I don't know. You kind of have to like, if you've never watched it before, because, you know, I just started watching it last year, it's a very bizarre concept when you start watching it. But then when you start watching it, you kind of like play into it a little bit. I noticed that because Alex was watching Love Island at one point, and he didn't have AirPods in. The same language they use on Love Island is the same language they use on The Bachelor and Bachelorette, the connections and all this kind of stuff. And there's supposedly a language that you have to use. She says, so, or is it a big towel? And she's got her swimsuit on. It looks like she's got her jammies on. I can't really tell. But Mom's like unpacking this car. It looks like they're coming to stay for a little while or something. I don't know. But anyway, so, oh, no. You know what? She told me she's got her granddaughter this fall because she's the only one that's, like, not in full-time school. And so she's got her, I think she said, on like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays or something like that. So she must be staying at Grandma and Grandpa's for tomorrow. That's sweet. And that's why they brought the towel and stuff, because she can go swimming maybe tomorrow. It's not really supposed to be that nice tomorrow, but anyway. So The Bachelor and The Bachelorette is like supposed to be classy. It's not, but it's supposed to be. And then The Golden Bachelor and The Golden Bachelorette, it's like very sweet. Like all the women that were in the house for Gary Jerry, like most of them got along. I don't know, it was funny. Like that was part of what I loved about it, was them all living in the house and they're older, and I don't know, I love that part of it. It'll be weird seeing a bunch of adult men living in a house together that are like 60 to 70, you know? It'll be completely different to see that. And then Bachelor in Paradise is my favorite. It's just messy. It is straight up messy. I love it. You can kind of like, when you're watching it now, when you're watching The Bachelor and Bachelorette, it is real loud, isn't it, with the cicadas? I'm sorry, you guys. But when you're watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, you can kind of tell, like, who they're going to pick for Bachelor in Paradise. Because they pick kind of, like, the ones that are either, like, really good looking, and it's, like, they'll come on, like, one of these guys will come on, and, like, all the girls will be like, oh, my God, like, that's who I wanted to show up on the beach. See, there's all this weird language, like, show up on the beach. It's all this weird language I use. Apparently, they have to use these words. And then it's, like, they are so obsessed with watching these seasons and following them on social media that they, like, know these people and have, like, spoken to them in DMs and, like, wanted to, like, date before they ever come on the show. It's so bizarre. But it's so messy, and I love it. So, I got The Bachelorette tonight. It's an hour and a half. And then I got Dubai. It's an hour. Plathville. It's in 45 minutes. Dubai is 45 minutes. Big Brother at 1 or 2. And then Dark. I would like to finish Dark, but I've got episodes 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. I want to finish it because I just want to know what's going on. And quite frankly, I know this is going to sound crazy, but if you watch it, you might relate. For my mental health, I feel like I need to end the show. The show just is kind of like makes you in your head a lot, you know? So yeah, so it's been a good day. My neighbor, I was sitting out here doing my prayers and meditation, drinking my coffee and stuff, and my neighbor in the corner, she saw me, and she's like, hey, what are you doing? And she's like, are you filming? I was like, no. And she's like, do you care if I come over? And I was like, no, come on over. We haven't talked a lot this summer. And so she came over, and we were talking about going to the pool and how nice it was. And she's like, did you stay up there much longer? And I was like, no. I was like, but I was telling her about the sister that I talked to. And she's like, she's really nice. And so we were talking about that. And then we're talking about the 2 times that the tennis court has been driven on. I didn't know about the first time. She's like, you didn't know about the first time? And I was like, no. And she said, I think it happened like 2 or 3 years ago. It was funny because we were talking, and I said something about, because she's really good friends with the people the couple that used to live next door. Like, her and the wife are really good friends. And they bought a house like probably 3 or 4 minutes from here. They bought a house, not a condo. And so when she moved in here, she was like, oh, you know, so-and-so, because she said you guys are the greatest, because, like, Alex still texts with her next door. They used to go out and have lunch and stuff like that. Really neat lady. And, that's funny, isn't it? I just thought about that. Like, Alex was closer with them than I ever was. Like, I'd say hi to them and stuff like that if I saw them out. I mean, they were really nice, and you know, at that time we had 2 cars, and so, like, they would go out of town for like a month because they weren't from here, they were from Iowa, and so they would go out of town for like a month or whatever, and she'd be like, just use our garage. Alex would be like, we can park in the garage. She's like, use our garage. Here's the garage door open. So he'd park in the garage and in the winter and stuff like that when they were gone. They were super, super nice. Really neat people. Well, she was really good friends with her, and so she'll always, like, do updates and stuff, but it feels like, it's so funny because I was like, when did she move out? Like 5 or 6? Because there was somebody in between her and the people that are there now. And she's like, no, they've been there for like 7 years. And I was like, they've been there for 7? I'm like, no, I don't think that's true. She's like, well, I've been in my condo 11, almost 12 years. I was like, you've been there that long? She was like, yeah. Oh, it just started raining. Do you hear that? And she's like, I bought it. I was like, and then the people that lived across the street, the gardener and the griller, I don't know how long they'd been there, but I do remember the guy that lived there before because he was really nice. His wife was like, she never came out of the house. I never saw her. Apparently, she was like, they had like, I mean, she was like an invalid. She never left. It was funny because he would like leave, and then I would see him as soon as he was pulling his car out. He was he was a landscape architect professor. I mean, it's a gorgeous garden, but he had it. I mean, it was pristine. It was really nice. He had these beautiful lamps and stuff in there. And so he would leave, and I'd be sitting out here like watching TV or something, and he would leave, and he would light a cigarette, and he'd like wave to me sometimes, not very often, but I mean, he was always real nice to me. He was always real talkative, but just like, he was an older gentleman. And then he would like drive around for like 4 minutes, and then he would come back in. Like, he would just leave to go smoke a cigarette and then come back in. His wife passed away, and then he moved out, or she got sick and had to go to a retirement home or assisted living program or something, so he moved in with her. I can't remember how it happened now. But like a month after he moved out, she passed away, and then I saw him at Costco, and I was like, hey, it's so good to see you. He's like, it's good to see you too. I feel like this is just a couple years ago, like 2 or 3 years ago. And I was like, it's really good to see you too. And he's like, are you still living there? And I was like, oh yeah, like, you know, we're planning on getting a place maybe somewhere out of state, but we'll keep that forever. He was like, yeah, I miss the neighborhood a lot. And I was like, well, it's good seeing you. We talked for a second. He was a really nice guy, very quiet. And then he knew them because, like, he would call, like, if they had something wrong with their condo or whatever, he would call and say, like, who did you use for this or whatever before. Did you guys, I don't know if you can see this on film, but it just got, like, really, really dark over here. It's kind of, like, eerie. It's kind of like you can see it moving. It's, like, bright and then it's, like, dark. And so I was talking to him, the griller, like, a month later, and he was like, did you not know he passed away from lung cancer? And I was like, no, I had no clue. And he was like, yeah. He was like, the real estate agent that sold us our house, like, called us and told us that he had passed away. I was like, I didn't even know that he had cancer. And he was like, yeah, apparently he had for years on end. I didn't know anything about that. And then, before she lived in there was another woman that lived in there. And then before that was Norma, who's since passed away. I think Norma moved out of here when she was like 102. And then she moved out because her grandma used to take care of her rose bushes. She was good friends with Norma. She's the one that said something about, I bake for people I like, maybe you'll get a pie one day. And then I found out I went in her basement with her grandma because she's like, do you want to see the condo? And I was like, yeah, sure. So I went in her basement. She was like, she told me she was a fashion designer. Or she goes, I worked with fashion designers in New York City. I don't know anybody in Indianapolis. And she moved here for like a friend of hers and all this kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, you work for fashion designers in New York City? And I was like, who? And she was like, Bill Blass from Indiana, Oscar de la Renta, Chanel. I was like, she's so full of shit. Well, in the basement, she had full dress forms down there. And then she had all these like clippings. And it was like her standing next to like Oscar de la Renta. I was like, this is unbelievable. I love fashion, and I lived next door to like this seamstress that worked for all these fashion houses. I had no clue. There's like a picture of her like out, it's like sitting in the front row of the fashion show and stuff like that. It's crazy. But anyway, and then next door, they're not moving out. Like, this is their forever home because their kids live here in town. Well, their daughter lives here, daughter and son-in-law. Their son, who just got married, he's actually thinking about moving down here. So, but they want to stay here forever. So they probably won't move out. They won't move out. She said they're not moving out. She's looking for a house. But I feel like I just heard my neighbor next door messing with her mailbox. But it's weird because like the neighborhood kind of like, it is like full on raining now. Here goes my walk. It's pretty though. Summer rain. It starts coming up here. I'm gonna have to get off. Oh, it smells so good. I love the smell of the summer rain. A lot of nature sounds, and this is like an ASMR today, isn't it? A lot of nature sounds in this vlog tonight. There's the cicada, there's the rain. It's not like a thunderstorm, it's like just like raining hard. This reminds me of the rain that my mom and I used to wash our hair in when I was a little kid. We would run around. If it rained, she'd be like, let's go outside. It's just like raining down. It's pretty. I love a good rainstorm, but I'm not going to be able to walk. I'm not going to walk in this. So yeah, so she came over and she was talking to me about the board and stuff like that. And I was like, she was like, are you thinking about, I was telling her that the woman was like, you should like join the board. And she's like, they can't get anybody to join the board. And I said, how many people are stepping down? She said 4. And I said, how many people are there? She goes, there's 6, but there's a 7th person that sits on the board for the vote. But they're kind of like, what do you call it? It's a juror that you have, you know, it's like, they're not necessarily like 100% on the board, but they're on the board to split votes if a vote is tied. So there's 7 people officially on the board. The 7th person is kind of like officially on the board. So 4 people out of 7 are stepping down. And I said, but the president's not stepping down. The vice president, landscaping manager, she's not stepping down, and I don't know who the third person is. She was naming people on the board, but I was like, I don't know who that is in this neighborhood. So I said to her, she goes, are you really thinking about doing the board? And I said, I mean, I would. And she goes, Peter, I would really tell you not to do it. She goes, I did it because I wanted to contribute to the community. I was really interested in when I did it. She goes, but I was going to quit 2 years ago. She goes, you know, I have because she's got a strong level of commitment and stuff like that. She's like, that's why I stayed on. She goes, because they really couldn't get anybody else. And she's like, but I'm done. I've done my time. She goes, the meetings are unbelievable. And I go, what do you mean? And she goes, what you see on the street is what you see in the meeting. And there's monthly meetings and biannual meetings. And biannual meetings, anybody can bring anything to a meeting. She goes, those meetings are like 4 to 6 hours. And people bring up stuff all the time. Like, I said, like what? She goes, well, she told me somebody in the neighborhood that lives in the lakes that I know. Real nice guy. And she was like, we sat for an hour and listened to him talk about, what did she call them? Activators or something? Because I thought she meant the fountains in the lakes. First of all, I didn't even realize that apparently our lakes, I mean, maybe I knew it about one of them, but I didn't realize each of our lakes has a name. They are named things, like such and such lake, such and I didn't realize that. Well, they have these things that are constantly moving bubbles and air. Is it coming outside? They're moving like air to keep it algae free and stuff like that. Well, apparently, the one over here on this lake works great and it goes all the time. But the one over here at some point broke in the last year. And like he called the maintenance and they didn't come out and fix it. And the HOA was like, do we have the money for it? She was like, it's like an hour of us listening to like him read articles about the importance of this. I don't know what she called it. I was like, do you mean the fountain? She's like, no, not the fountains. She's like, sometimes the fountains work, sometimes they don't. She's like, this is what keeps the lakes healthy. And she's like, it's so expensive. It's part of what we pay for the HOA fees. And I was like, well then, do we just get rid of it? She's like, you can't get rid of them now because we live on lakes. And if you got rid of them or you don't update them, she was like, then the lakes will literally turn to like muddy, swampy grossness. She's like, you have to do it now. She's like, it's extremely expensive. But they didn't think about that when they originally built the condos on the lakes. And she's like, so he came because he was pissed about it because algae was growing in front of his house. She's like, it was like an hour and a half of him reading articles about biologists and this and that and whatever. This isn't the same guy that wrote in the newsletter about the biologists. She's like, the pickleball courts. She was like, oh my God. Oh, Luca. Oh, honey. Honey. Where is your mom? Hello? Did you get out the back door? Honey. Oh my, look, say, I'm a good girl. Yes, I am. Is your mom coming over? Is she gonna make me go over? Is she gonna come over here? Should we wait for a second? She said, I'm gonna come over here. Hold on just a second. She's right here, honey. Say yes, I'm a good girl. I got my pink collar on. Aww. Oh my Lord!
Being a real stinker today. Come here, sis.
Is your mailbox up yet?
No.
Honey, it's too big to be picking up.
Oh no.
Aww.
It's my little workout.
Your mailbox still not up yet?
No.
Did you call about it?
No.
Why not?
I will though.
Do you want me to call? Just go inside. Text me.
Okay.
So crazy. So she takes her dog everywhere with her. So when she comes in and she parks in the garage and the garage door's open, as soon as she opens the door, the dog comes bolting. But her dog loves Boo Radley, even though Boo Radley does not love her. And so she always thinks for some reason Boo Radley's up here. And so she always comes like bolting up over here. She's so cute. This dog is so cute. But anyway, so she's like doing these like private lessons to teach her how to like dive in lakes. She's been doing it the whole summer. I think she graduated from it. She knows how to dive in lakes now and all this kind of stuff because she want to make her real water friendly. But anyway, so she was like, and the pickleball thing has been ridiculous this summer. And it was interesting because like when I was talking to my neighbor, like she can laugh and joke about stuff. It wasn't like, you could tell she was real irritated about it. And I go, yeah, it's been kind of like this ongoing story. She goes, Peter, you have no idea. She goes, you have no idea the calls that we've manned. She was like, you have no idea how people got really upset. She was like, the language that they used was very nasty towards the board. she was like, they don't really understand how things work. And I was like, well, how does it work? And she's like, well, you have to propose something, you have to write it down, you have to submit it to the board, and you bring it to one meeting. So like, let's say if that's August, right? Then in September, that's when the vote will happen. So nothing happens overnight. It's not up to the president, it's up to the board. And she was like, and then, you know, this was happening and whatever. And so we got talking about the pool hours and stuff like that. She goes, that was something else that I brought up. She was like, they did not officially change the hours. I go, well, it was interesting because I was talking to, you know, I told her who this person was, and she's like, she's so nice. I really like her and her sister. And I was like, they didn't ask anybody on the cul-de-sac about the pool being open longer or being open shorter. They like straight up lied about that. She goes, well, that's why she told you could swim up there anytime you wanted. She goes, because she was afraid that you guys were going to come to the board. I was like, we weren't going to come to the board and make an issue out of it. She was like, but she thought you guys were going to come to the board because she told me that you guys were going to come to the board. I think she may have said something about we're just going to show up to the next board meeting. She's like, she thought you guys were going to show up to the next board meeting and demand to know who changed the rule in the pool. We should have, probably. But I don't care that. I mean, I care about the pool, but I don't care that. I mean, the pool's closing, right? And she was like, she was worried that you guys were going to come and be like, oh, well, here are the official hours. Who changed it? We talked to the neighbors. Nobody, because she didn't consult any of the neighbors down there. Did I tell you guys this yesterday when I was talking to her? I talked to the woman that lives in the nobody in the cul-de-sac has ever been consulted about the loudness of the pool in the neighborhood. None of them have. I've talked to like 4 out of the 6 people that live around the cul-de-sac. Not one person down there has ever been spoken to by the board or by the president. So she straight up lied to us about it. And her husband straight up lied to us about it. She's like, Peter, she's like, it's constantly that. It's like them making these decisions and whatever. And I said, well, the problem is, if nobody's on the board that's ethical, she's like, well, that's why they're trying to weed out some people right now. She's like, we want some new, fresh blood on the board that doesn't really know the goings on. She's like, so when you vote, she's like, it's really important that you vote for people that you trust in the neighborhood. And I said, well, so-and-so really wants, you know, she mentioned to me about being on the board, and the older guy, like the friend that I always say is like my favorite neighbors, I said, he's mentioned to me several times about being on the board. She goes, they probably want you to be on the board because you're now friendly with them and they think that they can coerce you and use you for you as a vote. She goes, but in all honesty, she goes, nothing gets achieved in the meetings. She was like, it's all like an hour of financial reports of all the money that we have to spend, what are we going to spend on. She's like, it's not what you think it is. She's like, because she watched Schitt's Creek too. She's like, it's not like city council meetings in Schitt's Creek. She's like, it's like an hour of us like sitting going through financials, an hour of like proposals for lawn care. She goes, it's so boring, and they fight over every element of it. And she's like, you can tell it's just like this ego situation that's going on. And she's like, it's just nothing gets accomplished. She goes, I feel like I did my service, but I did 3 years. And she goes, 3 years was 2 years longer than I wish I would have done it. She's like, I'm telling you right now. She goes, it'll drive you crazy. And she goes, and I know you, and you'll sign up for it, and then you'll feel like you have to do it, and then you'll be pissed that you signed up for it. She goes, I wouldn't do it. She goes, there's other people that really want to do it in the neighborhood. I said, oh, there are? She goes, well, we can't really ever get anybody on the neighborhood. She's like, but this year, she goes, we have like 2 people that are really interested about being on it. She goes, it's a 3-year commitment, and then once you get on that position, you typically move to another position, which is why people, it's 3 years. Now I know why people stay on them for 15 years, because it's like they move through the different, there's like 5 or 6 positions. So that would make sense why somebody would be on the board 5 times, because they just move to the next, they get voted into the next position. She's like, Peter, if you want to do it, she goes, you know, I'll support you, obviously, but she's like, I think it would just drive you crazy. I don't think you would be happy whatsoever. And I was like, okay. She goes, and if I thought that you being on the board would really change something, she was like, I would definitely tell you to do it. She was like, but that's not, they make it seem like that. She was like, but they already come in there with how they want things to go. And she's like, and if you argue or you fight at all, she goes, it just becomes like this, it just becomes this ugly discussion. So you just find her just like, whatever, you know? So, but I'll tell you what, next year, if those pool, I mean, now the pool, I know I can go up there whenever I want to. So starting, you know, June 1st of next year, I'm going to the pool whenever I want. I don't really care. And I don't really care to fight it out with this woman that is way in and over her head, and she's afraid that we're going to come to a meeting. I don't have the time and energy to do all that kind of stuff. I thought it would be fun. She and I talked about going to a meeting. I mean, she and I kind of like briefly did, but I think she may have thrown it out in the text messages. But she and I, like, joked about going to the meetings. She's been to some of the meetings before, because when she got her 3-season room, she had to show up to the meetings with the proposals for it. And I was like, well, I want to go to one of these meetings. And she told me too, she's like, they're boring. She was like, it's hours on end of people, like people come to the annual or biannual meetings, and they like bring up, like she said, they'll bring up things like, my lawn isn't like mowed like how it's supposed to be mowed, and I think we need, and it's like, she's like, but then because they bring it to the board, they have to look at new proposals for new landscapers. She's like, it's just ridiculous. So now I understand why nobody wants to be on the board, you know? She told me because of this lake thing, she said, I'm really hoping they don't move up the HOA fees. She goes, because of the lakes this summer, we've had so many problems with it. And, because we were talking about the fishing too. She's like, I do not understand. She's like, it's so weird when you sit on the board. She's like, each person has like their own thing that they're really upset about. Like, that's like their agenda. And she was like, I mean, I get that. We all have our own agendas in life. She's like, but in like this neighborhood, she's like, there's like two people that's like, the kids fishing is like, it's like their big thing, right? She's like, and I get that. We all have our thing, right? She's like, but we've talked about the fishing. The camera stopped. And I said to her, I said, you know, have you guys ever thought about like, just like, we wouldn't, you know, publicly say it, but having like one or two places. She goes, like by the guard gate or down by the bridge. I go, exactly, that's what I was thinking, by the bridge. I wasn't even thinking the guard gate. She says, it's perfect down there. She's like, because the kids have like a grassy area to sit on by the guard gate. Down by the bridge, they can sit on the bridge or to the side of it. And I said, and if any kids come in here, we just say, please don't fish behind our houses. We don't want that. But you can go to the bridge or you can go to the guard gate. She's like, but they feel like if we do that, there's going to be 100 kids in the neighborhood. I go, well, then we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But right now, it's ever 3, maybe max 5, 6 kids in this neighborhood. She's like, I agree with you. She's like, it's a huge issue. She's like, nobody fishes. We stock these fish. Then they say that we have to stock the fish because the fish, like, keep the lakes clean. But then there's this lake issue. And she's like, this whole lake situation. She's like, the lake has been such a problem keeping the lakes clean this year, which is, I guess, why they wrote the whole article about the algae in the lake. I didn't realize there was a purpose to all these things that they write in the newsletter. And she's like, but I really think that we're going to, like, move up. She's like, we had to pay for the tennis court. We had to pay for this. There were down trees. We had to fix some of the areas that the utility companies dug up and they didn't fix. She was like, and then the lakes. She's like, I have a feeling they're going to increase the HOA. I mean, to be honest with you, if they increase it, like, everybody went up crazy if they're going to increase it. They hadn't increased it in 2 or 3 years, and they increased it by $13. If they increase it, I do think we pay a high amount for HOA fees, but if it's like $2 or $3, I mean, it's not like I'm going to complain about $2 or $3. I mean, in real life. To my neighbors, if they want to get into it, oh yeah, I'm down for it. I'm down for the HOA drama. And I have to tell you how many people in the comment section said that the HOA drama has really made their summer and carried them through the summer. I just want to say I really appreciate that because I love talking about it, and it's been kind of fun talking about it this summer, but not when people get like angry and serious about it. Oh, by the way, I learned, because I asked my neighbor about this, about why he's not playing pickleball. She said, it doesn't really have anything. She goes, at first he was pissed because of the court situation. So out of like, just kind of making a statement, he was like, until this whole situation is resolved, I'm not going to be part of it. She's like, he doesn't like drama. He doesn't like getting into it. She was like, and so he just was like, I'm not going to be part of it. She goes, but they've changed the times. And so 2 of the times during the week are at night, 6:30. It's not like it's late, 6 or 6:30. She's like, he doesn't like to play pickleball at night. He likes to play early in the morning. And the one early morning slot they had, which is like 8 or 9 in the morning, she said he showed up for it. Nobody else showed up for it. So he's pissed about the pickleball league, apparently. But so it wasn't like he went up. He missed one game, but then when they fixed everything, apparently he's still in the. I guess there's no. He calls it a league, but then when I was talking to that lady, she's like, league. She's like, it's just a bunch of us, 12 of us that get together because we like to play pickleball. She's like, it's not that deep. I was like, okay. But anyway, that's the HOA drama for the neighborhood this week. This is like a pretty steady rain that's coming down. My neighbor's like holding her wet dog, standing in the rain. Here's my pool crew lady. She's just walking out with putting an umbrella up. Where's she going? Do you know what cracks me up? Oh, no, it's her husband carrying her grandbaby. Their grandbaby. You know what cracks me up? Oh, somebody's getting out of the van with an umbrella. You know what cracks me up is when people go to like the door of their car. Oh no, there's another grandkid coming now. This is a different. Guess this is a different car. I didn't even notice it. What cracks me up is like it's literally a 10-foot walk from the van door to their door, and they've each got umbrellas up, big umbrellas. Oh, so it's 2 grandkids coming to stay. He looks like maybe kindergarten or first grade or something, but he's got a big backpack with him. Maybe they're staying at Grandma and Grandpa's for the weekend. Now where are they going? Oh, she's running around with no umbrella. Grandpa's trying to follow her with the umbrella. Here's my day. And when I am not sitting here conspiring to take people down with my drama channel, I sit and I watch Grandpa follow his grandbaby around the yard with an umbrella because he doesn't want her to get wet, because then he knows he'll have to give her, give them baths, and they'll take baths, and then be like putting clean pajamas on. She's already got her clean pajamas on, don't want her to get muddy and things like that. I love that other people were like, it was so sweet about the girl at the pool with the mermaid too. It was sweet. That mermaid stuff. Oh, I said this to the mom. I said, does she have a mermaid blanket at home? And she like looked at her and she's like, that's so funny that you asked her because her aunt just sent her one. Did I say that yesterday in the video? And I said, this mermaid stuff that they have, like, oh, the battery is blinking, so I have to get off here. But this mermaid stuff they have, like the tails and the blankets and all that stuff, when I was a kid, I would have had to have had that stuff if they had it. My mom, we would have had everything mermaid, so I can't believe that stuff wasn't around back then. But anyway, hope you guys are having a magically amazing Thursday. The weekend's over here, almost here. You almost made it to the weekend. And am I cutting off the HOA drama? I don't know what else, I don't know what I'm leaving out. But anyway, if nobody else has told you this today, I love you, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!